Which one of them do you want next?
It doesn't matter who's next. If I had to pick, I'm going to be honest, it would be Spence, because that's my dream fight.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Did you just say Errol Spence? Now, I know you're going to trip on Doc and say, he said, hey, man, he's talking about a dream fight. Well, that wasn't the question. The question was, who do you want to fight next? Nobody cares about your dreams. I'm sorry, man. You know, I'm all for somebody chasing their dreams. Hell, I'm chasing mine right now. But this is one dream that I won't mind shooting down.
Hello, guys. This is Rolly Romero.
Yo, my name is Nonito Donaire. What's up, guys? Designer's Eyes.
Here with Bob Santos Boxing.
And I rock with Dr. Boxing Talk.
I want to give a quick shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk.
And I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Boxing Talk. Thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support.
You're rocking with Dr. Boxing Talk. Get your daily news from my man right here, the best in the business. Let's get it, baby.
All day, baby.
Amen.
Bam!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you'll say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? Welcome back to your favorite boxing news channel, Dr. Boxing Talk, and we have some news for you today. It's not some good news, I can't lie, but we still gonna talk about it. And I'm talking about, check this out, man. BTF rise up. We have Vergil Ortiz, who just put a nasty demolition on the head top of Erickson Lubin. Got him out of there in 2 rounds. I'm talking about it was a destruction, right? Complete obliteration. Shout out to Erickson Lubin. I give Vergil Ortiz all of his credit because Erickson Lubin, you know, would be his 3rd undefeated fighter in a row. First he beat Jesus Ramos. I know some people thought it was controversial. I thought the appropriate person won, but it is what it is, you know. And he got through it, controversial or not. Then he took on Arjuro Holmes, right? And he beat him for IBF title eliminator, to which he decided not to fight Bakram Murtazaliev, another undefeated champion. He decided to go the route of Vergil Ortiz, because Vergil Ortiz brings more money, and I get it. You see what I'm saying? But this time, it didn't end up well for him, you know. But since he was on a nice little streak, you know, this was a great win. But Vergil Ortiz, to much of our dismay, he had a face-off with Jaron Boots Ennis. That's the good part. The bad part, which what I'm referring to, is the fact after they had their face-off, he was interviewed and they asked him, who does he want to fight next? And this is how he responded.
What were your thoughts on them being here, and which one of them do you want next?
It doesn't matter who's next. If I had to pick, I'm going to be honest, it would be Spence, because that's my dream fight. I've been calling it since
AT&T?
AT&T, there you go.
Yeah, and I know you're like, oh, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. He said his dream fight, but that's the problem. That wasn't the question. They didn't ask him what did he wish for as a 2-year-old. You see what I'm saying? Waiting under his Christmas tree. We don't care about your hopes, dreams, or aspirations. You know what I'm saying? We would hope that you want to aspire to be a champion or dream of fighting Boots Ennis, not fighting a guy in Errol Spence, who's one of my favorite fighters, but he hasn't fought in in over 2 years, right? And the last time he fought, he got beat from pillar to post by Terrence Bud Crawford. He shouldn't even be part of the conversation. I don't care if y'all from Texas. I don't care if y'all from the same block. I don't care if you're from, if you used to go to kindergarten together. Damn! I don't care if you had the same babysitter. It doesn't matter to me, man. We want Boots Ennis. For your listening pleasure, we are now on Spotify under Dr. Boxing Talk. The same thing on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, everything. Dr. Boxing Talk, man. Come rock with us. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And the thing about this is that, right, you could say, oh, Doc, you tripping. He just said that's who he wants. That's who he's dreaming to fight. And I get it, you know, because he did go on to say that he'll fight anybody. But once again, that was not the question. And if that doesn't bother you, if that's not worrisome, check out what his manager, Rick Meridian, said right after the fight.
Hey, boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no 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 way, boy.
Yeah, he said that dumb statement. He said that he wants Vergil Ortiz to fight Spence next in Cowboy Stadium because it's the biggest fight in Texas history. We don't care about making Texas history. We care about boxing history. Nobody cares about the attendance records being broken, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, because Team Vergil Ortiz is doing exactly what Jaron Boots Ennis said when he walked into the ring. He said, y'all been doing a lot of talking and misleading people. Because on one hand, you're saying you'll fight Boots, you'll fight anybody, but you're trying to fight a guy like Errol Spence. And that's just whack. You see what I'm saying? Had that fight later. And then he even says make Boots and Charlo fight, and then the winner could fight each other. I wouldn't even be too mad at that. But where's the guarantee that that fight will happen? They'll just move the goalpost again, and you know, and put him on a whole nother goose chase. And it's just ridiculous, bro. And not only this, right? I already said that I don't anticipate Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Boots Ennis to fight next, right? But if they don't fight next, the only acceptable thing is for them to do something, have a fight that will make their fight potentially bigger. And what would do that? Well, if they both or one of them or both of them try to acquire a belt, right? A belt acquisition will make their fight bigger. But fighting Errol Spence doesn't get you a belt. It doesn't do anything. You see what I'm saying? So let's figure this out, right? Vergil Ortiz doesn't want to fight Boots, and Vergil Ortiz doesn't want to fight for a belt, right? Because he's the WBC interim champion. He never speaks on Fedora, and Fedora's fighting Keith Thurman anyway, right? The WBA belt holder is Abbas Barao. He's fighting Xander Zayas for unification. Xander Zayas has a WBO belt. So that's out of the picture, right? Out of the question. And then Bakram Murtazaliev, who was offered to Vergil via Turki Al Sheikh, he said he doesn't want that because that's the IBF belt, right? And the IBF comes with a 10-pound rehydration clause. So check this out. Eddie Hearn has already said that if they don't get the Boots fight, if Boots doesn't get the Vergil fight, they'll go towards Bakram. So they already have a contingency plan for this, right? And you'll be like, okay, that's cool. And I'm cool with that, right? If Boots gets a belt. But peep what I said about Vergil Ortiz fighting Bakram, right? He doesn't want to fight under the IBF rules and conditions. If Boots fights Bakram, the only champion at 154, the only belt holder that's available, it'll be for the IBF belt. That'll give Vergil another reason, another built-in excuse to avoid Jaron Boots Ennis. You understand what I'm saying? So none of this looks good. Once again, I want to reemphasize, right? I'm past blaming Vergil. I'm past blaming Boots, right? But I have to listen to what the team is saying. Oscar De La Hoya said he wants Errol Spence.
Yeah.
He's been saying he wants Errol Spence in the Cowboy Stadium, Jerry's World, right? Rick Meridian, who's the manager of Vergil Ortiz, said he wants Errol Spence.
Yeah.
Vergil Ortiz's father said that Jaron Boots Ennis needs to earn Vergil Ortiz.
Yeah.
Right? So his father, his manager, and his promoter are all on the same page. They don't want Boots. And Vergil Ortiz is talking about his dream fight, so he would fulfill his dream if he goes the route of his team, which is going towards Errol Spence. So there's nothing to argue. There's nothing to discuss. If the fight with Boots doesn't happen, it's not because of Boots. It's because of Vergil Ortiz. That's just a fact. There's nothing else to argue, nothing else to discuss, nothing else to ponder or wonder, or nothing else to speculate. They're telling you right there, verbatim, right in your face. It's crazy, man. So, like I said, the only acceptable thing for Boots and Vergil to do if they're not fighting each other is to make the fight more interesting and not be going towards a belt. But if Boots goes towards a belt, the IBF belt, the one that's available, win or lose, I'm not saying that he would beat Bakram anyway. You know, hypothetically speaking, let's say that he beat Bakram. Well, that fight's not going to happen. Because Vergil Ortiz he's showing us he doesn't want to fight Boots, and he already told us he doesn't want to go the IBF route. Exactly. So, you know, we'll see. Maybe Vergil wants to fight Sebastian Fedora, but I mean, they're not asking for him either, you know, even though Sebastian Fedora said that he'll fight him. I've dropped that in the last video. I like Vergil Ortiz. He did his thing. If you want to rank him number one, you know, like he's ranked in the Ring magazine at 154, you know, if you want to say that's justified, that's cool. But, you know, it's kind of hard for me to put somebody number one if they don't have a belt, and not having a belt, but you don't even have ambitions to go towards a belt. That's not even in your future. You see what I'm saying? You're not even going towards that. And I just think that's crazy, because now 147 and 154, you're not giving us any a sign that you are inclined, or showing any inclination that you want a belt. It just is what it is. In fact, you're showing us the opposite. You see what I'm saying? So if I was Boots Ennis at this point, man, I'm not going to say to abandon it, but it just doesn't seem like it's coming into fruition. Because even if Boots let's say Boots waits for, let's say, Abbas Barao or Xander Zayas, he wants that winner. Maybe he could do that. But I mean, Vergil Ortiz will probably be looking at Errol Spence, so it doesn't even matter. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about that, man. Do you think that I'm tripping? Do you think that Vergil Ortiz is doing the right thing? You know, chasing the money. Obviously, he's prioritizing the money, and that's what we hate fighters doing, right? Because, you know, a lot of people will say, "Oh, I don't like when the fighter's chasing the money." I have no problem with a fighter chasing the money, because a lot of times the money does come with a legacy, but in this case, it doesn't. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, Vergil Ortiz cannot say that he wants to fight everybody if he's just fighting guys that are coming off of losses. You see what I'm saying? And he's fighting guys that's coming off of a long hiatus, you know, a 2-year sabbatical and a loss, and Errol Spence, a brutalizing loss. Let's say he goes for Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo's in the same boat. He hasn't fought in 2 years, and he lost to Canelo. Now, he didn't get beat down like Errol Spence did, you know, by the hands of Bud, but Jermell Charlo he was embarrassed because he didn't even really put up a fight against Canelo. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, either way you go, it just seems like Vergil Ortiz is picking and choosing his paths, and none of those paths that he's choosing lead to boots or belts. And that right there is a shame. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Don't forget to smack that like button, but most importantly, remember with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace.
From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.